Part 24. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 231. Faye, I really didn't expect you to be an undercover agent sent by the police. Fortunately, I value you so much. In an old house that had been demolished into ruins, a man wearing a floral shirt and a scarred face was wiping the knife in his hand with his shirt and looking to the side with his peripheral vision. On the ground less than 1 meter away from him, a young man with long hair dyed blue and green was lying on the ground with a painful look on his face. At this moment, his whole body was covered with bruises, and even his fingers were trampled to pieces. But even so, he still used all his strength to look at the scarred man. "Ha, if you have the ability, just kill me. Anyway, you are not guilty of killing a police officer, but even if you kill me, Joe Chen will soon bring someone to kill you. As long as I get rid of these cancerous tumors like yours and return the blue sky to the sea, my death will be worth it." As soon as he finished speaking, a boy next to the scarred man flew up and kicked him in the face. Then 2 more drug dealers picked him up directly. "Since you are not afraid of death, then I will help you. Later we will hang your body on the telephone pole at the entrance of the village in the city. And I'm not afraid to tell you that we can escape Jinghai at any time now, and you will never be able to catch me." As he spoke, a fierce look appeared on the scarred man's face, and the knife in his hand went straight towards the man's throat. A look of relief immediately appeared on the face of the man who was being lifted up. In a daze, he remembered the oath he had sworn at the police academy's graduation ceremony, and the graduation photo in which all the members did not show their faces. However, just when he thought he was going to die, the sound of a copper bell suddenly came from not far away. "The iron mouth is straight, if it doesn't work, you don't need money." Hearing this voice, both the police undercover and the drug dealers present had a look of astonishment on their faces. Obviously they didn't expect that a person could suddenly pop up in such a place. After a while, everyone's eyes turned towards the direction of the sound. At first glance, they discovered that at some point, about 20 meters away from them, a smiling little Taoist priest wearing Taoist robes was staring at them. Such a special identity coupled with such a weird way of appearing immediately stunned all the drug dealers. After a while, the scarred man with the knife slapped the boy on the side on the back of the head. "Didn't you tell me that ghosts won't come here? Where did this Taoist priest come from?" Hearing the elder brother's scolding, the younger brother with the gun in his hand also felt a little aggrieved. "I don't know, brother, demolition started here 8 years ago. Dogs don't come here on weekdays." As soon as he said this, Scarface glared at him. "No brother, I'm not saying you're worse than a dog, I'm saying there's no reason anyone would come here. What about him? Is he not human?" As he spoke, Scarface pointed at Yang Lin with the dagger in his hand. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the police undercover agent who was held hostage by the drug dealer also hurriedly shouted, "Taoist master, go quickly, get out of here quickly, they are drug dealers." Obviously he was worried that these ruthless drug dealers would kill Yang Lin directly in order to silence him. But after hearing his words, Yang Lin didn't show any fear at all. Instead, he glanced at the group of drug dealers with interest. Then I saw him speak. "Pandeo is just a fortune teller. He happened to see the dark clouds filling the sky here. He thought someone must be in trouble here, so he came to take a look." Hearing what Yang Lin said, Scarface suddenly laughed. "Hey, this is the first time I've seen someone so unafraid of death. But you said you could tell fortunes. I just don't believe in fortunes. How about you tell me fortunes?" As soon as Scarface finished speaking, Yang Lin nodded. "Yes, but poor fortune telling is not in vain. 1 hexagram costs 500. It's interesting. Go and get 500 yuan for this Taoist priest." Scarface smiled first, and then kicked the boy next to him on the butt. and the boy reluctantly searched inside the wallet. After searching for a long time, I only found 300 yuan. Taoist priest, I only have 300 here. Why don't I add your Wuxin to the remaining 200, and I'll transfer it to you with Wuxin. As soon as he finished speaking, Scarface kicked him against the wall next to him. Are you stupid? Wuxin is registered under real names. Do you want to die? Yang Lin on the other side saw the situation and immediately said. In that case, 300 is 300. Pandeo will treat it as a discount for you. As soon as he heard this, the little brother who had just been kicked on the wall immediately burst into laughter and ran to Yang Lin in a hurry. Hey, Taoist priest, you are really particular about people. I will come to you for fortune telling next time. As he spoke, he handed Yang Lin the only 300 yuan in his wallet. At the same time, several people from the program team on the other side also rushed over slowly and hurriedly. But considering their own safety issues, they chose to hide on the top of an old building nearby and recorded everything on the scene with a camera from a high position. The audience in the live broadcast room also happened to see the scene where the drug dealer gave Yang Lin money. Immediately, the hearts of the viewers in the live broadcast room were filled with questions. Oh my God, Yang Lin really went to the drug dealer's lair single-handedly. He is so brave. Everyone among these dozen drug dealers has a gun. By the way, what are they doing? Why does the drug dealer still give Yang Lin cash? Yeah, I don't understand either. According to the general plot, shouldn't they have been fighting together? No, the money just now couldn't be Guo Jin. What? Telling fortunes to drug dealers? Is he crazy? At the same time when everyone vaguely guessed the truth, Yang Lin, who had obtained the hexagram gold, also looked at Scarface again. I don't know what you want to ask, layman. As soon as these words came out, Scarface also started thinking. Since you can tell fortunes, then tell me what my life is like. Okay, I'll let you do the math for me. After nodding, Yang Lin started doing the math casually. In less than 10 seconds, he showed a confident expression. It's already been calculated. If Pandeo's calculation is correct, you lost your mother when you were 2 years old and your father when you were 3 years old. You entered an orphanage at 5 years old. You started wandering on the street at 8 years old. You joined a local gang at 15 years old. You became a member of the local gang at 20 years old. Killed the gang boss. I went to jail at the age of 25 and spent 5 years in prison. I was released from prison at the age of 30 and opened a rental business. As Yang Lin told a series of past events about Scarface, Scarface's expression changed from calm to unbelievable. But Yang Lin's next words made him furious. When you are 40 years old, there will be a bloody disaster. God is destined that you will be killed by an airplane. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 232. Scarface was originally shocked when he heard Yang Lin tell the story of the first half of his life exactly. But when he heard that he would suffer a bloody disaster when he was 40 years old, and would also be killed by an airplane, he immediately became furious. Immediately, he grabbed the pistol from the boy on the side, as if he was going to kill Yang Lin at any time. I almost thought you were an outsider, but it turns out you're just a liar. I've already passed my 41st birthday. You think I'll die when I'm 40? You cheated me out of money. Facing the excited Scarface, both the police undercover behind him and the audience in the live broadcast room all changed their expressions. Even though the audience in the live broadcast room knew that bullets could not hurt Yang Lin, they still couldn't help but be a little scared when facing the black hole of the muzzle. It's over, Yang Lin actually tells fortunes for drug dealers. What are you doing? Is it to delay the rescue? By the way, Yang Lin has never made any mistakes when telling fortunes for people. Why did he make mistakes when telling fortunes for this drug dealer this time? Yes, his fortune-telling accuracy used to be 100% accurate. It's not important, okay. Do you think the drug dealer won't shoot if you calculate it correctly? You're too naive. And the cause of death of the drug dealer is too outrageous. He was killed by a plane. Where did the plane come from here? Does it mean that the drug dealer was going to die in an air crash? It's impossible. It's impossible for someone like him to choose airplanes as his mode of transportation. Just when everyone was puzzled, the boy who was kicked away by Scarface suddenly looked at his cell phone with a look of realization. Boss, actually if you count according to the lunar calendar, you won't officially turn 41 until after 12 o'clock tonight. The birthday you celebrated before was on the solar calendar, and your birthday on the lunar calendar is tomorrow, so you are still 40 years old today. As soon as these words came out, Scarface, who was already ready to pull the trigger, suddenly froze. Perhaps because he was worried that his boss would not believe it, the younger brother quickly opened the calendar on his mobile phone and pointed at a date on it and said, "Boss, look, I checked your ID card last time and marked your birthday on the lunar calendar, which happens to be tomorrow." Hearing this, Scarface was stunned for a moment, and then thought about it carefully. It seems true. Does that mean I am still 40 years old today? Yes, boss. But why the hell do you want to remember my birthday? As he spoke, Scarface looked at the younger brother beside him with a questioning expression, his eyes full of doubts. After being stared at by Scarface like this, the long-haired boy first showed an unnatural expression, and then replied with a hint of anxiety. Well, actually I have liked you, boss, for a long time. No, it should be said to be love. Boss, we can just escape abroad this time. Before the long-haired boy could finish his words, Scarface kicked him away again. Fuck you, you really make me feel sick. I will never go to the sauna with you again. I will tell you why you gave me a back rub last time. Also, don't stand behind me again. I treat you like a brother, but you actually covet my body. As the conversation between Scarface and the long-haired boy was captured in the live broadcast room by the program team using a radio device, the audience in the live broadcast room was also confused. I'll go, what's going on? If you say so, Yang Lin didn't make a mistake just now. Let me tell you, Yang Lin can't go wrong. Isn't this all right? The only thing that doesn't go right is probably that this drug dealer will be hit by a plane. As long as he doesn't go to the airport to die today, this situation will never happen. You're less likely to be killed by a plane than by a dolphin. Please, is that your focus? That's right, these two drug dealers are about to make me laugh to death. What kind of plot is this? No, this drug dealer boss looks like that, and he's actually been booked. I never expected that the plot would unfold like this. Yang Lin telling fortunes to drug dealers is 10% funny, and the younger brother falling in love with the boss is 1000% funny. While there was an uproar in the live broadcast room, the drug dealer boss Scarface also reacted and continued to point his gun at Yang Lin while looking around cautiously. You were sent by the police, right? Only the police can know my details so well. But that doesn't matter anymore, because you're going to die soon. As he spoke, he was about to pull the trigger. But at this time Yang Lin spoke again. I bet you there are no bullets in your gun, believe it or not. Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, Scarface was stunned immediately, and the next second he saw him asking the younger brother from before. The next second, I saw him lifting the corner of his clothes, squatting down, and slightly extending his right palm forward to make a starting motion. Kill him, kill him. Of course, it's full, just like my heart. He pulled the trigger as he spoke. Hearing Scarface's words, Yang Lin first smiled and then nodded. But what surprised him was that after the trigger was pulled, the gunshot did not sound. Go to hell. When Scarface on the other side saw this, he completely lost his last bit of courage, turned around and fled towards the ruins. However, Scarface was already murderous, so he would not give up casually. He casually threw the gun without bullets aside, and then took the pistol from another boy. "Where are the bullets you loaded?" Perhaps he was stimulated, and after a moment of panic, Scarface, who was angry and frightened, suddenly shouted loudly to the many boys on the side. "All I saw was that the magazine was empty, with half a bullet anywhere." The long-haired man was also a little confused when he was asked this question. Seeing this situation, Yang Lin had no intention of catching up. With a trace of doubt, he quickly opened the magazine. "You did it right or not, you did it?" After confirming that there was no bullet in the gun, Scarface immediately said angrily. At first glance, he was immediately dumbfounded. When Scarface asked, the long-haired boy nodded quickly. Just when everyone in the live broadcast room thought that the drug trafficker leader was about to escape, a sudden change occurred. There is no doubt that what is happening now is beyond his cognition, and even seems a bit supernatural to him. Seeing this scene, Yang Lin couldn't help but smile. At first he thought it was stuck. But the result is that there is no change at all. After hearing the order from their boss, the more than 10 drug dealers at the scene immediately ignored them and picked up the bricks on the ground and attacked Yang Lin. The ding-ding-dong-dong sound was so harsh in the deserted ruins. While suppressing his nausea, Scarface showed a sneer towards Yang Lin. "Have you loaded your bullets today?" But after pulling it several times in a row, the result was the same. "I tried several pistols of my brother in a row, but they still had no bullets." "You." Scarface was completely panicked now, and even the hand holding Chiang couldn't help trembling. The next second, Scarface saw yellow bullets falling out of Yang Lin's wide cuffs. Thinking of what Yang Lin said just now, he quickly looked at Yang Lin with horror. When the camera panned again, there were already more than a dozen beaten and half-dead drug dealers lying on the ground. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 233. Yang Lin successively performed horrifying tactics such as stealing bullets from a distance, hitting 10 people with one shot, and so on. The scar-faced man had already noticed that something was wrong. His intuition after so many years of struggle told him that if he continued to stay here, he might really die here today. So while Yang Lin was fighting with his group of younger brothers, he rushed out immediately. But he had just run less than 50 meters when he suddenly caught a glimpse of something in the sky falling in his direction. His eyes widened at just one glance. If you look closely, it's clearly an agricultural drone produced by DJ. Perhaps due to damage to internal components, the drone was falling at an extremely fast speed. There's also a plane. As Scarface said these last words, the agricultural drone weighing several dozen kilograms hit him directly on the head. He was knocked to the ground on the spot. He just twitched a few times and then stopped moving. He actually died. And this scene naturally fell into the eyes of the group of younger brothers not far away. While shocked, they also thought of what Yang Lin had just said. Suddenly they felt that the air temperature had dropped a lot, and the eyes they looked at Yang Lin were full of fear. They had never seen a Taoist priest who could talk others to death. The program crew who were filming secretly on the rooftop were all stunned when they saw Scarface being killed by a drone. As for the audience in the live broadcast room, they were already agitated when Scarface was shot by the drone. Holy shit, it's dead, another one is dead. Yang Lin cursed another one to death. His mouth has been opened, right? When Yang Lin said you were going to die, you should start panicking. No, that person was really killed by a plane. I never expected such an ending. I was just talking about how people could be hit and killed by a plane. It turned out to be a drone. Now it makes sense. If I read it correctly, it should be a drone used to spray pesticides. How could such a thing appear in the city? It's probably because there was a bug in the system and it flew here out of control. Good guy, if you fly just a little bit, this drug dealer won't be smashed to death. It's true that God wants to take him away. After doing so many bad things, can God not punish me? It's not so much that God wants to take him in, it's better to say that Yang Lin wants to take him in. I seriously doubt that Yang Lin has anything to do with the Lord of Hell. If you're afraid, don't think about going to Yang Lin to tell your fortune in the future. See, this is the result of not giving enough Guojin. As long as he gives 200 more, he probably won't die. While everyone was talking to each other, Yang Lin on the other side looked at Scarface's body and shook his head. Pandeo said that you will suffer a bloody disaster today, but you still don't believe it. It's your own fault and you will not survive. With such heavy karma on your body, you will die like this. It is simply an advantage for you. As he spoke, he took a step forward, but just such an action scared the surrounding drug dealers to hide behind him. They were afraid that Yang Lin and Bang Bang would punch them a few times. Just the few times they were beaten by Yang Lin, they all suspected that all the bones in their bodies had been broken by Yang Lin. But this time, Yang Lin did not embarrass them, but walked towards the tortured anti-narcotics policeman. Perhaps seeing the drug dealers defeated by Yang Lin, the tight string in his heart also loosened. After showing a smile on his face, he fell to the ground with a plop. In the spike situation, Yang Lin also took the initiative to reach out a hand to help him up. First, he stopped his bleeding by cutting off his pulse, and then took out a pill to stabilize his vitality. After some operations, the drug police officer who had already lost most of his life was finally out of danger. At the same time, several people from the program team finally rushed over. Teacher Yang, what should we do next? Take these people back. Upon hearing this question, Yang Lin immediately turned back and glared at him. Of course I'll call the city bureau. Oh, okay. While agreeing, a staff member from the program team quickly called the police. What? Someone caught the drug dealer. After being stunned for a while, Qin Feng quickly quickened his pace. His expression suddenly changed. Logically speaking, the scar-faced man was killed by Yang Lin, so the bonus should naturally belong to Yang Lin. It's him. You caught a dozen of them at once. You even shot one to death. Qin Feng obviously didn't believe it at first, but after the operator introduced the matter in detail, he stood up immediately. Upon hearing this question, Qin Feng nodded immediately. As he spoke, he noticed with his peripheral vision the scar-faced man who was smashed to death on the ground. In addition to this, there were firearms and bullets everywhere, as well as more than a dozen suitcases containing unknown items. As soon as Qin Feng finished saying this, the eyes of the program crew widened. At this moment, they only heard the words just now. There is no doubt that when he first heard the report from his subordinates, his first reaction was that someone was filing a false police report. All these are telling them the identity of the group of people in front of them. But as soon as he opened his mouth, he was undoubtedly struck by lightning. Right now. Arrange manpower immediately and follow me to the crime scene. Hey, I want to call the police. We caught more than 10 drug dealers here and shot one to death. Director Qin, do you know him? A program staff member couldn't help but ask. Less than 5 meters away from them, a group of men who didn't look like good guys were squatting on the ground with their heads in their hands. And when he rushed to the scene with dozens of police officers as quickly as possible, what he saw in front of him also proved his guess. Daozang Yang, I knew it was you when I got the call just now. 1 million. It's really outrageous. You can still make 1 million by calling the police. At the same time, Qin Feng, who was having a meeting in the Jinghai Municipal Bureau, suddenly heard the report from his subordinates. Yes, they are real drug dealers, the kind with bayu in their hands. I didn't expect it to be you. You are the only one who can fight off more than a dozen gun-toting drug dealers. The provincial department even set up a high reward to collect relevant clues about him. As of this year, his reward has increased to 1 million. Among the ruins, a young Taoist priest wearing a Taoist robe was waiting by the roadside with a group of people holding filming equipment. Not even a hint of doubt. But when he heard a name mentioned in the report, he knew it was definitely true. Come on, let's help you control them first. Of course I know him. This man is quite famous. Not only is he involved in gangs, but he is also involved in drugs. He has been traveling between the Dragon Kingdom and several Southeast Asian countries over the years. We have been trying to find a way to catch him. Still possessing firearms. I didn't expect that he died here today. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 234. Generally speaking, rewards set by the police only target people outside the police system. Although Yang Lin is currently engaged in police work, he is not a policeman in the true sense. So theoretically he can get this bonus. But soon the program team thought of a problem. Director Chin, let me ask you, what if the criminal who put the reward on his head was accidentally killed? As soon as this question came out, all eyes immediately focused on Qin Feng. Qin Feng was obviously stunned for a moment when he heard this question, but he soon smiled lightly. It's the same. If such a heinous criminal were to escape, even we would choose to kill him on the spot. And he may jump over the wall at any time and continue illegal and criminal behavior. Killing him is a legal and reasonable emergency escape. As soon as these words came out, everyone felt relieved. While several people were talking, the police officers who had just arrived also handcuffed all the remaining drug dealers at the scene and took them to the police car. As for the injured anti-narcotics policeman, a special person sent him to the ambulance. Soon only Qin Feng and Yang Lin were left in the field. Just when Yang Lin was about to turn around and leave, Qin Feng suddenly stood up straight and saluted Yang Lin. Thank you, Director Yang. The police officer you just rescued is the only one left among their batch of graduated drug police officers. If he also died in this operation, we really don't know how to explain to his dead father. After hearing Qin Feng's words, both the program team and the audience in the live broadcast room were moved. Hey, it's really hard for the police officers. They face life and death threats at any time, especially the anti-narcotics police. Yes, I heard that in many police academies, there are basically very few anti-drug majors left after 10 years of graduation. The saddest thing is that they don't get to have an unmosaiced photo of themselves until the moment of death. I wish their photos were mosaic every time I see them, because once the mosaic disappears, it means that not only he himself is no longer alive, but even his blood relatives within 3 generations are no longer alive. So this time Yang Lin has really done a lot of good deeds. He not only saved 2 anti-drug policemen, but also saved countless families who were harmed by these drug dealers. It is a pity that these drug dealers who have been caught are only a very small part of them. I don't know how many drug dealers are hidden in the corners of the city. It would be great if we could catch all the drug dealers at once. You are too naive. Those drug dealers are not only cunning, but also have a strong sense of anti-reconnaissance. If they could be found so easily, there wouldn't be so many anti-drug policemen dying every year. 2. Just when the audience in the live broadcast room was filled with emotion because of Qin Feng's words just now, Yang Lin also felt the karma suddenly pouring towards him. While surprised, he also tried to trace the source of these karma. After an investigation, I found out that it was actually related to these drug dealers. To be precise, families devastated by drug dealers. Because of his actions this time, thousands of families were indirectly saved, and all the karma behind it also poured in at this moment. So it turns out that each of these drug dealers is carrying such heavy karma. Then if we catch all the drug dealers in the entire Jinghai area, wouldn't we be able to reap thousands of times the karma? Just when Yang Lin realized this, Qin Feng, who had just thanked him, was about to turn around and leave. But as soon as he took 2 steps, Yang Lin's voice came from behind. "Director Qin, please wait a moment. I think if you want to crack down on drug dealers, Pandeo can help you." Suddenly hearing Yang Lin's words, Qin Feng was obviously stunned for a moment, but the next second he declined with a smile. "No need, Daozang Yang, today's matter is already enough trouble for you. It is our job to catch drug dealers and we cannot always rely on you." As he said that, he turned around and got into the car. But at this moment, Yang Lin spoke again. "What Pandeo means is that Pandeo can help you find out where all the drug dealers are hiding in the entire Jinghai city." Qin Feng, who had already stepped onto the police car, froze after hearing these words. The next second, he turned around stiffly with a look of disbelief on his face. "Daozang Yang, what did you just say? Where are all the drug dealers hiding in the entire Jinghai Sea?" "Yes, as long as you find their hiding place, you should have no problem with the rest of the arrest." Throwing this sentence lightly, Yang Lin didn't seem to take this matter seriously at all. But for Qin Feng, these words were like a thunder, which almost caused his brain to explode. After a long while, he finally understood what Yang Lin meant. Instantly his face showed a look of ecstasy. "Teacher Yang, are you serious? Are you really willing to help us figure out the drug dealers in the entire Jinghai?" That's right, what Qin Feng is worried about is not whether Yang Lin can, but whether Yang Lin is willing. In his opinion, there is nothing wrong with Yang Lin wanting to do such a thing. It doesn't exist and can't be calculated. And just as Qin Feng was ecstatic, the audience in the live broadcast room on the other side also exploded. "Oh my God, is Yang Lin serious this time? Does he really want to find all the drug dealers in Jinghai City? This is impossible. There are more than 10 million people in Beijing and Hainan. Finding the drug dealers hidden among them is no different from finding a needle in a haystack. Is he serious? If he is serious, I will give him a kiss now. It's not just about kowtow to one. In our case, Hujian, we have to build a temple and erect a monument as an offering to the gods. It's almost explosive, but I'm not worried that Yang Lin can't figure it out. I just think this matter is too outrageous. It's indeed a bit outrageous. The divination and fortune-telling left by our ancestors can still be used for this. I wonder who will dare to say that this thing is feudal superstition in the future. Isn't it a bit too difficult? Fortune-tellers can't leak secrets casually. Are you sure that such a large-scale leak of secrets won't be fixed by God as a bug? I'm also thinking about this question. Why does Yang Lin leak secrets so frequently without any backlash? When others become ugly, he becomes more and more handsome. Just when the audience in the live broadcast room was screaming, Yang Lin also gave Qin Feng a positive answer. After receiving the reply, Qin Feng reported the situation as soon as possible. Half an hour later, a meeting was held in the large conference room of the Jinghai Municipal Bureau, and all senior officials from Jinghai were present. Yang Lin himself was also invited to the scene. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 235. In the huge conference room, all the high-level officials of Jinghai City were present, including Tan Zhengming, who had just recently attended the ceremony to pray for blessings and eliminate disasters. One can imagine how much attention this incident received. At this moment, Qin Feng, who was temporarily hosting the meeting, also recounted what Yang Lin had said before. "Everyone, the situation is exactly what I just said. This time Daozang Yang will count all the drug-related personnel in the entire Jinghai area. and our job is to arrest them. This requires the support of the armed police and the military, and everyone's approval. After all, the things involved this time are really too big. As Qin Feng finished speaking, everyone in the conference room immediately started whispering to each other. If Qin Feng had told them a few days ago that there was one person who could find all the drug dealers in the city, they might have regarded Qin Feng as mentally ill. But after witnessing Yang Lin's turning of the typhoon, their thoughts were completely different. I don't say that I 100% believe what Yang Lin said, but at least I don't dare to question it easily. After discussing for several minutes, Tan Zhengming, the leader of Jinghai, coughed a few times. Then the entire conference room fell silent again. I believe everyone has heard what Deputy Director Qin said. I think this time is a huge opportunity for our entire Jinghai. So we must catch it. Later, I will contact the military and our Jinghai Municipal Bureau for joint operations. All drug-related personnel must be arrested and brought to justice to give an explanation to the people across the country. I will be at the scene personally at that time, and I will definitely fight this battle beautifully. Following Tan Zhenming's decision, everyone present was somewhat speechless. They never expected that Tan Zhengming would make a decision so quickly. However, if you think about it carefully, you will be relieved. As a developed city on the coast of Longguo, Jinghai has repeatedly experienced large-scale drug-related cases. So much so that the development of the entire city has been affected. Now that there is such an opportunity, Tan Zhengming naturally wants to seize it. The only thing that makes everyone doubtful is that relying on fortune-telling to catch drug dealers is really reliable. Along with such suspicion, an anti-drug operation codenamed Storm also officially kicked off. The overall commander of the operation is located in the Jinghai Municipal Bureau. It was only 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and thousands of armed police officers and military soldiers were on standby in the Municipal Bureau's compound. But this time, what they were waiting for was not the order assigned by their superiors, but Yang Lin. In the main control room at this moment, Tan Zhengming and others were all focused on Yang Lin. As for Yang Lin himself, it was very rare that he took out a pair of tortoise shells and 3 copper coins. Obviously, in order to more accurately locate the drug dealer, he was also extra cautious. After he made the first hexagram, he immediately said, "Someone is selling drugs inside the Buckingham nightclub on 3rd Street in Donghua District, and it also houses a large number of drug-related persons." As soon as Yang Lin finished speaking, Qin Feng picked up the walkie-talkie and said with a serious face, "Buckingham nightclub on 3rd Street, Donghua District, leave now." As he finished speaking, several police cars filled with armed police officers roared away from the city bureau compound, aiming directly at the Buckingham nightclub that Yang Lin had just mentioned. No one had any doubts about this position from beginning to end. At the same time, in the private room of Buckingham nightclub in Donghua District, a group of men in suits and leather shoes, dressed like serious businessmen, were conducting some kind of unknown transaction. One of the middle-aged men with the slicked back hair nodded with great satisfaction after inspecting the goods. "Mr. Chen is so powerful. I didn't expect to be able to get so much goods under such strict police investigation. And you actually chose such a place to conduct transactions. Are you really not afraid of being found by the police?" Hearing what the man with the back of his head said, an elegant young man sitting opposite him immediately laughed. "Mr. Ma is joking. We have been rooted in Jinghai for so long. This place is just like our home. How could something happen in our own home? No matter how hard they try, the police will not believe that someone would dare to conduct such a large transaction under their noses." But what he didn't know was that not long after he was transferred, Yang Lin, who was in the main control center, spoke again. The elegant young man on the spot was stunned. After thinking for a long time, he suddenly realized something, and his gloomy eyes looked directly at the man with the back of his head beside him. As soon as he finished speaking, the horseman said breathlessly, What are you doing? Do you know what we're doing right now is the head-dropping thing. You can catch them by just sending people to block the intersection of 2nd Avenue. The first culprit should be traveling in a black commercial vehicle. Then, with the horrified eyes of this group of criminals, they gathered directly in their direction. When the elegant young man saw this, his face suddenly turned dark. Come and raise a toast to our cooperation. I don't believe those policemen can still follow us. The next second a panicked man rushed in. As he spoke, the elegant young man picked up 2 glasses of red wine. Just when he was about to hand one of the glasses to the middle-aged man with a heavy back, the door to the box was suddenly opened. He couldn't figure out why he was so closely watched by the police even though he had never been exposed. In the end, he threw Maze to the ground. The next second he took out a pistol from his waist. You're an undercover agent sent by the police. You leaked my location. I'll beat you to death. Not long after, everyone in the private room quickly completed the transfer from here under the leadership of the elegant young man. Let's go, this place has been exposed. Really, there are really many armed police cars coming towards us, at least hundreds of them. Not long after he gave the order, the people who had just escaped from Buckingham looked at the armed police who were surrounding Buckingham with a proud look on their faces. Did you read that correctly? But the smile on his face did not last long. When the car reached the second intersection, a group of armed police soldiers with live ammunition rushed out of the car on the roadside. Then a gun battle broke out in the commercial vehicle. TCH, just them, they will never catch us in their lifetime. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of everyone in the private room changed instantly. The boss of the drug dealer has escaped from Buckingham, and now they are fleeing towards 2nd Street. As he spoke, he knocked on the wall of the box with a mysterious look, and the next second a secret door appeared behind the sofa. As he spoke, he jumped over the wall in a hurry and shot the drug dealer with whom he was dealing. But it doesn't matter, let's go to the next place. And the elegant young man even dragged Maze in. Did they know about our transaction today? It's impossible. I haven't told anyone about this. While shocked, the elegant young man's eyes quickly swept across the faces of everyone present. Brother Guang, it's bad, there are armed police coming in our direction. After saying these words, the elegant young man got into the commercial car nearby and headed towards 2nd Avenue. As soon as Yang Lin finished speaking, Qin Feng immediately gave the order through the intercom. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 236. When the armed police soldiers approached the car, they were surprised to find that not a single person in the car was dead. Everyone, including the driver, was killed. Next to their bodies were boxes of cash and large amounts of drugs. The appearance of these things undoubtedly proves their identity as drug dealers. After being stunned, the armed police soldiers present immediately looked at each other, and they all saw shock in each other's eyes. Thinking of the location information just transmitted from the walkie-talkie, they finally couldn't help but sigh. It's simply amazing. It is true that most of them already know that Yang Lin is not simple and has magical abilities, but they have never thought that Yang Lin can be so magical. The calculated location of the drug dealer was accurate. After the shock passed, the armed police soldiers present quickly reported the information on the scene. When the senior executives of Jinghai in the main control room learned the news, they couldn't help but light up with joy. Dao Zhangyang is really a god. Not only did we find a large number of drug-related persons in Buckingham just now, we also found several principal criminals. Although they were all killed for unknown reasons, judging from the amount of drugs they carried, we destroyed a large drug den this time. But here they had just finished praising Yang Lin, and Yang Lin had already finished the second hexagram. Nanhua District, warehouse number 17 at Xinjiang Pier, there is a large drug manufacturing factory. With the first successful experience, Qin Feng did not dare to hesitate at all this time, and immediately arranged for a team of armed police soldiers to rush over. However, this is only the beginning. In the next half hour, Yang Lin would figure out a location almost every few minutes. These locations are either hiding places for drug dealers or drug manufacturing dens. As long as the armed police and military soldiers rush over, nothing will be missed. In less than an hour, more than 500 drug dealers and more than 1,000 drug-related personnel were arrested. The amount of drugs seized reached a very terrifying figure. Among them are many drug lords wanted by many countries. As these drug dealers and drug-related personnel were arrested, a strange scene soon appeared in the courtyard of the city bureau. On one side, there were busloads of armed police soldiers dispatched to perform tasks, and on the other side, there were busloads of drug-related personnel who were arrested. One in, one out, the whole process lasted until the evening. When this scene fell into the eyes of nearby residents and passers-by, these residents and passers-by also looked confused. What kind of day is it today? Why is the city bureau so busy? Yeah, I've never seen them as busy as they are today. Why are we arresting people one by one today? It's like they're following up on goods. That is to say, where did you find so many criminals? Today, those criminals went crazy and committed crimes collectively. Thousands of people must have been arrested. I heard they were arresting drug dealers. My neighbor's second aunt's neighbor said that a drug manufacturing den was discovered in their community today, and all the drug dealers inside were arrested. I've also heard that a high school chemistry teacher in our community, who usually seems to be quite honest, was also arrested today. I heard that he used his knowledge of chemistry to make poison, and he is also a well-hidden poisoner. Xiao. I also saw someone in the group talking about this. They said that half of the drugs in Jinghai were made by this chemistry teacher, and no one has discovered it yet. What does this mean? I saw in the group today that a man ran into the mountains to make drugs by himself, but the armed police came to take him away. You can be found even if you hide it so deep. That is to say, it is really strange today. All the drug dealers have been arrested. It seems that not only drug dealers, but also people involved in drugs have been arrested. Yes, there is a celebrity holding a concert in our Jinghai today. He was suddenly arrested an hour ago, and then his hair was monitored, and it was confirmed on the spot that he was taking drugs. Is it so outrageous? Although I don't know what's going on, it's still a good thing. As everyone watched, more and more drug-related persons were arrested. Tan Zhengming and others, who were still excited about cracking the answer, became numb after seeing the current result. They couldn't help but look at Yang Lin aside. Seeing that Yang Lin finally stopped divination, they breathed a sigh of relief. Daozang Yang, there should be no more, right? Hearing this question, Yang Lin nodded first, and then said, "It is true that there are no more within the Jinghai area, but..." Before Yang Lin could finish speaking, Tan Zhengming quickly waved his hand and said, "That's enough, Taoist priest, that's enough. Let's go here first today. If we continue to arrest him, I'm afraid we won't have room in the prison." Yes, and interrogating these drug-related personnel is also a big project. I estimate it will take half a month to complete. Speaking of this, Qin Feng suddenly showed a wry smile. Before this, he never thought that the final result would be like this. Yang Lin actually counted out all the drug-related personnel in Jinghai City in one go. Even those who were involved in drugs in a very hidden way were not left behind. The number of drug dealers caught in just half a day today is more than they have ever caught since Jinghai launched anti-drug work. Daozang Yang, today's affairs are really troublesome for you. You should go back and rest today. We will also account for the reward you receive for helping to catch these drug dealers. This matter is really too big. We have to hold a media press conference now. While talking, Tan Zhengming and Qin Feng bowed deeply towards Yang Lin to express their gratitude. After that, they hurried to the press conference hall of the municipal bureau. Such a big thing happened today and caused uproar in the city. Naturally, we need to give an explanation to all the citizens. When they entered the press conference hall, reporters from various media were already waiting inside. After Tan Zhengming and Qin Feng came to the microphone, they quickly explained the specific circumstances of this anti-drug operation. When the news reporters heard that more than 5,000 drug-related persons were arrested and 5 tons of various drugs were seized in just half a day today, they were all stunned. They even wondered if Qin Feng had read the wrong number. It wasn't until they confirmed again and again that they were finally sure that these were true. Shocked, these news media also immediately posted the anti-drug operation that took place in Jinghai that day and the final results online. And when netizens saw the results of this anti-drug campaign, they became uneasy. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 237. At this moment, all the news media in the Dragon Kingdom are full of news about this anti-drug operation in Jinghai. Although this kind of thing happens almost every year, it has never attracted the attention of the entire internet like today. Especially after seeing all the data. Oh my god, am I reading that right? 5,000 drug-related people were arrested? Are you going to the Golden Triangle to arrest people? No, you read it correctly, and it's not that the media wrote it wrong. It's really 5,000 people. I saw this number in several media outlets. No, are you sure this is not made up by some marketing account? There are more than 5,000 drug-related personnel? More than the number of people in our school. Confirmed, this is the number announced by the Jinghai police at the press conference. Isn't the more terrifying thing about the 5-ton drug? Last year, only a little over a ton was seized in the entire Dragon Kingdom. You told the Jinghai City Police that they seized 5 tons in one day. This number is indeed a bit exaggerated, but this time the Jinghai Police really did not cheat. It is said that they arrested everyone related to drugs in the entire city and destroyed several drug manufacturing dens. It can be said that the entire capital has been turned upside down. That's right, I originally went to watch a concert in Jinghai, but in the middle of the concert, the guy who was holding the concert was taken away by the police. I heard that he was addicted. Good guy, is this a police undercover agent who sneaked into the drug dealer's lair and became the boss? He killed all the drug dealers at once. TCH, don't you know this? It is said that Yang Lin is directly cooperating with the police this time. He is responsible for calculating the locations of all drug-related persons, and then the police are responsible for arresting them. Yes, I was still in the live broadcast room when he said this. I thought he was just joking, but he turned out to be serious about it. No way, is it really Yang Lin who figured out the locations of those drug dealers? It sounds outrageous, but that's the real reason. It's not just outrageous, it's simply outrageous. As some netizens who watched the daytime live broadcast revealed the truth, everyone finally knew why Jinghai made such a big fuss today. And this night is destined to be a sleepless night, whether it is the police in Jinghai, the arrested drug dealers, or those involved in drugs in other cities. Especially drug-related personnel from other cities. After learning that someone could actually calculate the location of drug-related personnel through divination and fortune-telling, they all became numb. Although Yang Lin is still in Jinghai and is not sure whether he will come to other cities in the future, they don't dare to gamble. If someone like those drug-related personnel in Jinghai were figured out, wouldn't it be a dead end? When they thought of this, some people with stronger psychological qualities were already ready to run away, while those with weaker psychological qualities went to the nearest police station to surrender overnight. Even in the entertainment industry, several popular stars posted messages overnight announcing their retirement from the entertainment industry. It can be said that Yang Lin's operations directly pushed forward the anti-drug work of the entire Dragon Kingdom for at least 10 years. Of course, Yang Lin himself didn't know all this. After sending all the drug dealers in Jinghai to prison, he went straight back to the hotel. As soon as he entered the door, he sat cross-legged on the sofa. In an instant, the karma gained from helping the police arrest drug dealers quickly transformed into his own cultivation like a raging tide. In less than 10 minutes, his realm has directly risen to a threshold, and he is almost reaching the late stage of Yin Shen realm. After he gradually adapted to the surge of mana in his body, he slowly opened his eyes. I can rest assured that. Yang Lin's eyes lit up as he spoke. It's a pity that all the drug dealers in Jinghai have been arrested, and it will be difficult to go to other cities in a short time. But at this moment, a clanking sound suddenly came from the room behind him. At the same time, Qin Ming, who had just finished interrogating a group of drug dealers on the other side, received a call from Yang Lin. After a while, bursts of screams came from the house. And I heard that those arrested today are all drug dealers and have nothing to do with us. There is more than one similar news. In just half a year, nearly 50 children and more than a dozen teenagers were lost. If we catch another wave, I'm afraid they will all be promoted to the Yangshen realm. Such a rapid increase in efficiency was something he would not have dared to imagine even in his previous life in the world of cultivating immortals. Are they human traffickers? If you want to count them all, it seems that the crimes carried by these human traffickers are no less than those of drug dealers. Don't be suspicious. Get ready quickly. This customer wants it urgently and the price is relatively high. We have to be more careful this time. The lamb was suffocated in the car last time. Soon he noticed a piece of news. Don't worry, the suitcase this time is more breathable than last time, and the lamb is much better behaved than last time. I didn't put too many sleeping pills in it. The middle-aged woman's expression changed instantly. What's going on? Why do I suddenly have an ominous premonition? In a waste recycling yard in an urban village in Nanhua district, a middle-aged woman with dark skin who looked to be in her 40s or 50s suddenly asked with a confused look on her face. If all these human traffickers can be caught and the missing children can be recovered. By the way, there are no more drug dealers, and there should be many other criminals. How about? The two of them talked to each other, and those who didn't know it thought they were really selling livestock. At this moment, it was only 1 day since he had just been promoted to the Yinshen realm. While talking, Yang Lin picked up the mobile phone beside him and started checking on it. At the same time, some men and women hiding in various corners of Jinghai suddenly had a cold war. When he heard Yang Lin's thoughts clearly, his whole expression changed. I didn't expect that catching these drug dealers would lead to so much karma. They are all really guilty. It doesn't matter, my cousin is a drug dealer. I have long advised him not to do that business, but he didn't listen. Now he will probably be pulled into a queue to be shot. As soon as these words came out, the middle-aged woman immediately looked indifferent. The news shows that many young children have disappeared in Jinghai recently. They have not been found so far. They are suspected to have been kidnapped by human traffickers. These lambs are not honest at all. As he spoke, the thin black man took another look at the suitcase in front of him. I've already contacted the bus side. They only charge the money and don't care what's in your box. By the way, was your cousin arrested today? We won't be implicated, right? After saying that, she grabbed a bamboo stick next to her and rushed in aggressively. Hearing her words, the thin dark man who was packing a suitcase not far from her immediately said nonchalantly. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 238. Early the next morning, when it was just time to go to work, Yang Lin led the program team straight to the Jinghai Municipal Bureau. When he arrived at the city bureau, Qin Feng, with 2 huge dark circles under his eyes, was already waiting there. In fact, it's not just him, everyone in the city bureau is the same as him at this moment, tired and haggard and excited. You don't need to think about it to know that they interrogated the drug dealers overnight. There were a total of 5,000 drug-related personnel, and they almost mobilized all the police forces in Beijing and Hainan to complete the investigation overnight. But in fact, they didn't have much to examine. They caught everything that needed to be arrested and checked everything that needed to be inspected. Seeing Yang Lin walking towards them, Qin Feng hurriedly greeted him. "Daozang Yang, is what you told me last night true? Are you really going to find all the traffickers in Jinghai City today? Of course, Pandeo has never lied to you." "That's not true. I was just busy all night yesterday." Qin Feng yawned as he said that. "How about we take a moment?" Qin Feng's words obviously expressed the feelings of many police officers present. Although punishing criminals is a great good thing for the security of the entire Jinghai and for them. But catching criminals like this assembly line is really too much for them. The workload last night alone was almost as much as they did in a month. "Director Qin, I can understand your hard work, but have you ever considered an issue? If we start taking action one day later, does it mean that some children will be trafficked to other areas by human traffickers? Some children will even lose their lives on this day, and for their parents, is this day too cruel?" As Yang Lin said these words, all the police officers present were instantly speechless. "Of course, your tired Pandeo can understand, so Pandeo has prepared something for you." As he spoke, a small jade bottle appeared in Yang Lin's hand. This medicine bottle contains 5 dragon essence and tiger pills. You can take them and turn them into potions. 1 cup per person can quickly restore your vitality. Qin Feng, who was still full of guilt, immediately changed his expression after hearing Yang Lin's words. Looking at the small porcelain bottle in Yang Lin's hand, his eyes were full of disbelief. The famous name of Dragon Spirit Tiger Pill was well known to him. Let alone him, even if you ask a random person on the internet, it is impossible that you have not heard of the name of Dragon Spirit Tiger Pill. At that auction, the Dragon Spirit Tiger Pill was sold for a sky-high price of nearly 100 million. Nowadays, it is regarded as the #1 miracle drug for men by netizens. Based on the auction price, the total value of such a bottle is as high as 500 million. Also shocked were the program crew following Yang Lin and the audience in the live broadcast room. "Here I go, I thought the last Dragon Spirit and Tiger Pill was the only one, but it turns out there is one more. This time he actually took out 5 of them. Even if these 5 pills are turned into water, I'm afraid they will still be as powerful. That's for sure. I'm afraid if you throw it into the Yangtze River casually, all the men in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River will take advantage of it." Exaggerated, exaggerated. It seems that Yang Lin is determined to catch the human traffickers in Jinghai this time. Shouldn't they be arrested? Of course they should be arrested. I think in a sense, human traffickers are even more hateful than drug traffickers. It's all thanks to the hard work of these police officers. Daozang Yang, since you trust us so much, let's take action today. By the way, how should we control the proportion of water? At this moment, Qin Feng felt as if the sleepiness all over his body had disappeared. After he turned the 5 dragon essence and tiger elixirs into more than 10 barrels of potion in accordance with Yang Lin's request, he immediately arranged for all the police forces in the city bureau to take turns to drink the potion. The policemen who had worked hard all night were dismissive of these potions in large barrels. But when they picked up the disposable cup and drank a glass of it, they immediately felt the changes in themselves. Especially one of the young policemen who was almost exhausted. The moment he drank the potion, he immediately felt a surge of power coming out of his body, and his originally weak hands and feet suddenly seemed to be invigorated. And my mind, which was groggy from not sleeping all night, became extra clear. There was an expression of disbelief in his eyes. What's going on? I feel like I've just been fully charged. There's no feeling like I just had an all-nighter. His words seemed to open up a conversation among the people around him. All the police officers who had finished drinking the potion couldn't help but let out bursts of exclamation after noticing the changes in themselves. The energy is coming, the energy is coming, I feel like I can kill a cow in my current state. I'm going back to interrogate the drug dealers, and I'll beat them to death. Hurry, hurry, I feel like I'm full of strength. I'm going to run a 5-kilometer run. This potion is really magical. Now I can ask the drug dealer to run 500 meters first, and I will still outrun him to death. Listening to the sighs of the surrounding police officers, Qin Feng, who had just finished drinking the potion, was also extremely emotional. Sure enough, it's a pill worth 100 million. Just a small cup of it is even more powerful than stimulants. Now let's not ask these guys to catch human traffickers. Even if we ask them to catch terrorists, they won't be cowardly. On the other side, the audience who saw the changes of the police on the scene were also amazed. Is it really that powerful? Just drink a cup of potion diluted countless times and you will feel energetic immediately. Then don't look at who refined the elixir. Isn't this thing the green cow that belongs to our dragon kingdom? Does Yang Lin really not consider creating a sports drink brand? You call this a sports drink, it looks more powerful than stimulants. The criminals in Jinghai will suffer a lot. I have an idea. If I give this potion to my company's employees, they can work 24 hours a day without taking a break for a week. Good guy, why is there a capitalist in the live broadcast room? Capitalists are ashamed of themselves. You are using your employees as perpetual motion machines. Just when everyone was sighing with emotion because of the powerful effect of the potion, the police officers who had returned to their peak condition also entered working mode again. And Yang Lin also returned to the familiar control room again. But the difference from yesterday is that what we want to arrest this time is not drug dealers, but human traffickers throughout Jinghai. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 239. At this moment, only a few hours had passed since the large-scale cleanup of drug dealers in Jinghai. Due to the confidentiality of previous operations, the entire process was not broadcast live. This time it was different. Before the operation started, the Jinghai Municipal Bureau had already blocked all channels in and out of Jinghai. Whether it is a passenger terminal, a high-speed rail station or an airport, police have been deployed to conduct inspections, even at highway intersections. So this time the City Bureau directly asked the program team to enter the main control room to live broadcast the entire process of arresting the traffickers. And when netizens saw the non-joking attitude in the control room, all of them couldn't help but sigh. It's Jinghai City 6. They just arrested all the drug dealers in the city, and now they are arresting the human traffickers again. Sure enough, I said it must be Yang Lin who helped the police figure out the locations of the drug dealers. It goes without saying that if it weren't for Yang Lin, I guess we might not be able to catch those cunning drug dealers even if we turn Jinghai upside down. Compared to drug dealers, I think human traffickers are more concealed. If you just dig into the crowd, you can't tell who the traffickers are. This is probably why it has been so difficult to find the lost children. The end of the world has come for human traffickers. I'm curious, can he really find all the human traffickers in the city? At the same time that netizens were talking about it, the operation to arrest human traffickers was officially launched. A large number of armed police officers and soldiers with live ammunition are on standby. They were accompanied by a large number of police cars used to transport criminals. And this is also the experience summed up after what happened yesterday. According to their predictions, the number of criminals arrested today may be more than the number of drug-related persons yesterday. After everything was prepared, Qin Feng, as the commander-in-chief of the operation, immediately looked at Yang Lin aside. And Yang Lin had already completed the first hexagram at this moment. I saw him first looking at the map in front of him, and then pointing upwards. There is a group of human traffickers in the Grand Palace on Maple Street in Donghua District. Almost as soon as Yang Lin pointed out the location on the map, Qin Feng picked up the walkie-talkie and shouted inside. Team 1, you immediately rush to the location that Dao Kenyang just mentioned. If those traffickers resist or harm the hostages, you are allowed to shoot them. As soon as he finished speaking, a group of armed policemen drove a police car and quickly left the municipal bureau compound. With the departure of this group of armed police soldiers, the arrest operation officially began. After that, almost every half-minute or so, Yang Lin would announce a location. These locations cover the whole of Beijing, from suburbs to urban areas, from unfinished buildings to urban villages. Every location is a place that the police would never think of. Less than 20 minutes into the operation, one of the armed police soldiers sent a message. Qin Bureau, we have arrived at the designated location. We have successfully arrested 4 human traffickers and found 12 abducted children. As soon as this news came out, everyone in the main control room suddenly felt energetic. That's great. Saving these 12 children means saving 12 families. Thankfully we launched the operation today. Otherwise, after today, we still don't know where these children will be transferred. Yes, getting the child back is the biggest thing. This efficiency is too high. The operation only started in less than 20 minutes. It's better to invite Taoist Master Yang like this. Faced with everyone's praise, Yang Lin remained unmoved. It was too easy for him to find those abducted children. Especially now that he has been promoted to the Yinshen realm, his consciousness can cover almost half of the Jinghai. It only takes a thought to find the person you are looking for. Just when everyone was excited about the recovery of the first batch of abducted children, other news came back one after another. Qin Bureau, we have successfully arrested human traffickers. A total of 7 traffickers have been arrested and 34 abducted women and children have been recovered. Qin Bureau, we have arrested 5 human traffickers and recovered 8 abducted children. Qin Bureau. Whenever the phone in the control room rings, it means that a gang of human traffickers has been wiped out, and it also means that abducted children have been recovered. In less than an hour, hundreds of traffickers were captured. When these traffickers were arrested, they didn't even know why they were arrested for no reason. When such results were presented in front of netizens in the live broadcast room, netizens were also excited. What is professional? This is professional. We caught so many traffickers in 1 hour. I finally know why the goods were sold at the door of Jinghai Municipal Bureau last night as if they were goods. It turns out that's how it is. It's so accurate, so accurate. It's like installing a camera in a trafficker's house. This morning I saw on the internet that the locations of the drug dealers were calculated by Yang Lin. I didn't quite believe it. Now I see that the online reports are still too modest. It took just a few minutes to calculate the specific location and specific circumstances of the trafficker. This is not a Taoist priest, he is clearly a detective. Compared with Yang Lin, that little boy from Neon Country is simply weak. There's no comparison. People rely on scientific knowledge to solve crimes, while Yang Lin relies on metaphysics to solve crimes. I guess those traffickers are starting to doubt life. You would be confused too. Everything was fine, but suddenly a group of armed policemen with live ammunition came in front of you. Human traffickers deserve to be beaten to death. I really want to know what these human traffickers look like now. While the arrest operation was in full swing, far away in a scrap collection station in Nanhua district, a middle-aged couple who looked honest were looking at the screen of their mobile phones with horror on their faces. At this moment, the content on their mobile phone screens was clearly a live broadcast of the arrest. What's going on? Did the police really hire a fortune teller to arrest us? After watching it for a while, the middle-aged woman holding the mobile phone opened her mouth in disbelief. Upon hearing her question, the thin dark man standing next to her immediately shook his head. No way, how could the police do such a thing? And even the police can't find us. How can a fortune teller tell where we are? But when I checked my phone in the morning, I saw that it was this Taoist priest who found all the drug dealers in the whole process yesterday. Is it really that powerful? We can't control that much anymore. Whether you can trust them or not, for the sake of safety, it's better for us to hide somewhere else first. After saying that, the middle-aged woman hurriedly walked into the side room. When she came out again, she had completely changed her appearance, from a dark-skinned middle-aged woman to an urban beauty who looked to be in her early 30s. Even the skinny man before has turned into a business elite in suits and ties. The two looked at each other and smiled before preparing to leave. But at this moment, a group of policemen suddenly walked towards them. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 240. Suddenly seeing the police appear, the two traffickers who had undergone perfect cross-dressing were startled at first, and then quickly pretended to be nonchalant. The woman among them even lowered her voice and said to her accomplices, "Don't be afraid of them. The way we are now, no one will associate us with human traffickers. In all these years of traveling around the world, I have never failed." After saying that, she even took out a lipstick from her bag and painted herself a bright red lip. At the same time, the group of police cars that just appeared also rushed into the scrap recycling station where they had been before. Only when they opened the door to the recycling bin did they find that it was already empty. One of the leading police officers at the scene frowned. "Is Dao Zhangyang's information wrong? This place doesn't look like a den of human traffickers at all." "Yeah, is it possible that the traffickers got the news in advance and evacuated?" "It's also possible. Let's report it to our superiors first." With that said, the police officer in charge called the main control room. The human trafficker couple not far away from them couldn't help but reveal a slightly mocking smile after seeing that the police had not found any clues. "I want to fight with you, but I'm still a little young. The one who can catch me hasn't been born yet. We'll just watch here to see if they can catch us." Perhaps there was too much noise, and soon a large number of people came to watch, and the trafficker couple was perfectly hidden among the crowd. At the same time, Qin Feng, who was on the other side in the main control room, quickly received a report on the scene. "What? No human traffickers found? The traffickers are suspected to have evacuated. Okay, I already know the situation." After the call was finished, Qin Feng immediately looked at Yang Lin with a hint of embarrassment. "Dao Zhangyang, no human traffickers were found in the waste recycling station you just mentioned, and no abducted children were found. Did they receive the news in advance and move it?" Hearing Qin Feng's words, Yang Lin was not surprised at all, as if he had expected it. If they have already moved, Pandeo will naturally calculate it in advance. So they can only hide. As for those children, we can let them search in the backyard of this waste recycling station. If nothing else, there should be an underground space underground in the backyard. As soon as these words came out, Qin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Qin Feng had no doubts about Yang Lin. So he quickly called back the phone call just now and explained Yang Lin's original intention on the phone. On the other side, a group of police officers who were searching in the waste recycling station immediately gave up the search after receiving the new instructions and headed directly towards the backyard. When this scene fell into the eyes of the trafficker couple, their faces clearly showed panic. "Did they discover our basement?" "Impossible, the basement is so hidden, how could they know? But why did they go directly to the basement? Coincide. It was obvious that at this moment it was difficult for them to accept that their carefully arranged hiding place would be discovered. But what happened next made them have to accept it. Not long after the police team entered the backyard, they found a basement hidden under a well. And they took out more than a dozen children, large and small, who were in a coma from the basement. When the children were taken out one by one, the trafficker and his wife hiding in the crowd were stunned. How could that happen? How did they know the child was hiding there? Impossible, absolutely impossible. I obviously didn't show any flaws. Is it really the Taoist priest who figured it out? For a while, the two fell into deep suspicion. However, in order not to be discovered by the police, they still pretended to be calm. But just at this moment, the group of police officers who had rescued the children suddenly walked in their direction. "Auntie, I would like to ask, have you ever seen anyone working in this waste recycling station?" After getting closer, one of the policemen asked directly to an aunt who was watching the excitement. The aunt who heard this question was also very enthusiastic. "I've seen it before, why haven't I seen it before? I even came here to sell cardboard boxes. Those two couples look so honest. I didn't expect them to be human traffickers." As she spoke, the aunt gestured at how the two of them looked. When other onlookers saw this, they quickly nodded in agreement. Listening to everyone's description, the trafficker and his wife hiding in the crowd smiled even more happily. "It seems that our worries are in vain. With these police officers, they will never catch us in their lifetime. So what if it's under their noses? It seems that the Taoist priest they hired isn't very good either." But just when the two of them were secretly feeling proud, a call suddenly came to the police officer's cell phone. Half a minute later, the police who were still searching for clues suddenly surrounded the trafficker and his wife at an unexpected speed. To such a sudden change, not even the people watching the scene, let alone the trafficker couple, reacted. It wasn't until a pair of cold handcuffs were placed on their wrists that their eyes widened. "Sumiazi, Li Daking, you two are suspected of child trafficking. You are now officially arrested." Hearing the names in their ears, the trafficker couple showed panic expressions for the first time. They have been doing this for so many years and have never used their true identities. I never expected to be recognized here. What makes them even more puzzling is why the police just answered a phone call and determined that they were human traffickers. Did that Taoist priest really count him out? Although there were 10,000 doubts in their hearts, the police at this moment did not give them any chance to explain. They were put into a police car on the spot. At the same time, in the main control room on the other side, Qin Feng suddenly stood up with excitement on his face. "I just received news that the human trafficker at the waste recycling station was caught. Thankfully, we have the information provided by Taoist Master Yang, otherwise we would have let these two people run away. In addition, according to the information we just found in the National Public Security System, these two people are related to multiple child abduction cases across the country. Among them, the woman's nickname is Aunt May, and she is a wanted target." As soon as these words came out, everyone in the main control room suddenly became excited. Being able to capture such a human trafficker means that more clues about missing children can be found, and it also means that more illegal and criminal organizations can be followed. All this is due to Yang Lin's divine calculation. And just when everyone was in high spirits, they also thought of a very serious problem. That is, with so many children recovered this time, how should we find their biological parents?